their 2024-25 season with a performance by the group's clarinet quintet.
Western Mass News reporter Addie Patterson has more about this upcoming concert after checking in with some of those musicians.
We are promoting music in the same way the orchestra is, but in our own way. And we are offering these very intimate kinds of chamber music concerts that the orchestra would never, produce.
On Saturday, the Springfield Chamber Players will kick off their 2024-2025 season with a performance by their clarinet quintet. The program will feature works of several famous musicians, including Duke Ellington, Bernard Herrmann, and Ralph Vaughan Williams.
There's a tonality, there's a lyricism in that music which really suits this combination of strings with the wind.
Western Mass News caught up with musicians Miho Matsuno and Chris Cullen ahead of Saturday's concert. They explain why this upcoming performance stands out from previous shows.
When you think of chamber music, you think of like a string quartet or a piano trio, not necessarily a combination of winds and strings. So this is quite special what we're doing.
We also spoke with Mark Auerbach, Public Relations Director for the Chamber Players. He tells us the Chamber Players provide experiences different than most other concerts in our area.
The Springfield Chamber Players are offering music that you don't get to see in a lot of venues here. The Springfield Symphony has 50 to 75 musicians for a concert, and here you can sit close up and see a quintet of musicians, watch how they play their instruments, look at their facial expressions.
And Saturday's opener is a show that the whole family can enjoy.
This is a very, very, friendly program for all ages, for all kinds of people, and I think that it's extremely relatable and enjoyable.
Reporting in Springfield, Addie Patterson for Western Mass News.